What is going on, everybody? So, back again with another video. NBA free agency has died down, trade rumors are all over the place with nothing really imminent, and NBA rookies are starting to settle into their new teams. With workout videos being like the main source of NBA news these days, it means we've reached that dead period in the offseason. Even though rosters are mostly intact, there's still a lot of teams that have a lot of questions to answer. And in today's video, we're going to be focusing on 3 teams, so let's get right into it. So the first team I wanted to talk about was the Chicago Bulls. Chicago Bulls had quite an interesting offseason, one that was filled with a lot of Zach LaVine rumors, but the two sides ultimately came to terms on a max extension. But the moves for the Bulls did not stop there. They added Andre Drummond to a minimum deal, and they added Goran Dragic to a minimum deal. And I mean, the moves are fine, but I just feel like they could have done more. The Bulls barely went into their MLE, avoided the luxury tax, and those moves kind of posed a lot of questions on if they believed in themselves as real title contenders. Usually, if you're a team looking to be aggressive, a team looking to gun for an NBA championship, money is not an issue. Your owners will allow you to go as far into the luxury tax as you want to acquire talent. Instead, the Bulls took a different approach, filling in the nooks and crannies and hoping for their team to gel together. But to me, their limited moves is kind of worrisome. Zach LaVine is blossoming into this 27-point per game guy. You have DeMar DeRozan, who just averaged 28 points per game, will be turning 33 in August, so we have no idea if he'll be able to replicate that same success next season. I haven't even been able to touch on the biggest elephant in the room, which is Lonzo Ball and his injury. Lonzo Ball suffered a meniscus injury in January that shut him out for the rest of the year. It was expected that he'd be healthy by now, but recent reports say that he's kind of had some setbacks and it's not looking too good. When your head coach is in interviews using words like hopeful and we'll see, that just doesn't really sound too, optimistic in regards to Lonzo's injury. And to add more cause for concern, the Bulls used their first round pick on Dalen Terry, a 6'7" point guard. Now, I understand that Terry is a very versatile player, but his best position is the point guard position. I don't know, something in me just tells me you're not really making these moves if you're confident in Lonzo Ball making a full recovery. So we'll just have to see how things like that pan out. If I had to take a guess, I don't believe he'll be ready for the start of the season. We might not see him until the end of the calendar year. The player that the Bulls should have some concern over is Nikola Vucevic. Nikola Vucevic was traded to the Chicago Bulls from the Orlando Magic for Wendell Carter and future first-round picks. At the time of the trade, it made sense. He was an all-star center, but his play has since declined, and into the playoffs, it looked very, very rough. You could say that trading for Vucevic showed Zach LaVine that you were willing to make moves to win, which in turn allowed him to stay. Vucevic was also a big part of the reason why DeMar DeRozan chose to come to the Bulls, so in that aspect, it's okay. There's also other guys to talk about, like Patrick Williams, what he'll be able to do next year and how good he'll be. But even with all those questions to answer, I still believe the Bulls will be fine. As long as you have DeMar and Zach healthy, you're going to be a dangerous team. Bulls just got to hope that everything else comes together. Jumping right into the next team, we got to talk about them, the Los Angeles Lakers. It seems like the Lakers always got some question to answer, but it's not their fault, as that's the case for every LeBron James-led team. They made a bold move last offseason, trading for Russell Westbrook, and so far that experience just has not been good. It's no secret that the Lakers have actively been trying to move on from Russell Westbrook, whether it be talks about Kyrie Irving or Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. Just about every player you could think of has come up in trade rumors for the Los Angeles Lakers. Their biggest issue being they just don't really have the assets to make a move. Once a team with an identity, they let all that walk for more offensive pieces, and it just has been a disaster ever since. LeBron James is getting old, so the time to win is now, but at the same time, his lack of commitment to the team is kind of worrisome. LeBron James just has a year left on his deal, and will enter free agency with a lot of teams that have a lot of cap space. As the season goes on, rumors will start to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and all that outside noise could hinder the Lakers season once again. The biggest key to the Lakers' success next season will be Anthony Davis, and if he's able to stay healthy. There have been a lot of videos of AD working out this offseason, looking to prove a point next year, but at the same time, he's been an injury-prone player his entire career. If I had to guess, I think Rob Pelinka and the Lakers will bite on the trade, move Westbrook along with 2 future first-round picks for a player, multiple players, or whatever it might be. They just got to get a deal done. The last team I wanted to touch on in today's video is the Charlotte Hornets and their whole fiasco that has happened with them over this offseason. The Hornets made a lot of confusing moves this offseason that doesn't really put them in any particular direction. It looked like their new head coach was going to be Kenny Atkinson before he eventually backed out of that deal, and instead they looked towards Steve Clifford to replace him. It's rare we see a team rehire a coach they fired, and even at that, fired just a couple of seasons prior. So I'm interested to see if that thing even works out. And the biggest question being what's going to happen with Miles Bridges. I don't want to touch too much on the Miles Bridges situation considering the horrible act he committed, but this is something that's going to drag off for a long time, and I just don't really see him playing NBA basketball this year. There were talks of them trading Gordon Hayward. There were talks of them trading Terry Rozier, and no moves have really formulated. You drafted James Bouknight last year with the lottery pick, and he had little opportunities. You drafted Kai Jones in the first round, and he had little opportunities. This team lacks defensive integrity, and offensively, it's very flashy play. that we've seen, it hasn't really worked out for them. They need a culture change. They need a mindset change. And I'm just not really sure where that comes from. Like I said, this is a very hard team to judge. You know, are they going to make a strong playoff push, or are they going to fizzle out and just be another 10th seed once again? In all honesty, the Hornets should be looking at the #1 overall pick, but I just don't see Michael Jordan and company doing so. It's going to be an interesting season for Charlotte. I want to see what LaMelo does, the type of jump he makes. I want to see how Mark Williams plays. I want to see if James Bouknight and Kai Jones can finally get opportunities to showcase their talents. Is Terry Rozier on the move? Is Gordon Hayward on the move? Is Kelly Oubre on the move? And whoever else, we'll just have to wait and see. Once again, my name is Amdu So. If you guys enjoyed, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in the next video, man. Peace.